What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dave here with another video. It's a beautiful bright sunny day here in the state of Delaware and we are going into the woods today. We're going after crappie as our main target, but there's a whole bunch of different kinds of fish in there that we could catch. So I have high hopes for today. We're going out to a spot just smack in the middle of the woods, out in the middle of nowhere, and not too many people know about this place, if anybody, other than me and a couple of my friends. But we go to this place and we absolutely tear up crappie and other species too. So we're gonna get out there, we're gonna make the hike through the woods, through all that thick brush and everything, and hopefully we smash the fish today. If you guys do enjoy the video, give me a thumbs up down below, drop a comment so we can interact with y'all, and of course if you have not already, please subscribe, it really helps us out. Let's keep growing this channel, guys. But for now, let's get out to the pond, let's get fishing. Made it out to the spot here, and this is all that I have to take with me today. Just one rod, one reel, little crappie jig tied on there. I got my waders to get down to the spot, and I got a tackle box with a few backup jigs and lures and stuff. But that's literally all you need to go crappie fishing. Just super simple, and we're gonna keep it really simple like I said today. So let's get out to the spot here, let's walk down there and try to get some crappie on this stuff. As we're getting down to the spot here, I'm being very careful of where I'm stepping around because May is what I've heard is the most active season or the most active month for snakes in this area. So I've yet to see any at this spot today, but I'm sure there's plenty around here. I mean, just look how grown up this place is. Like, this is truly one of those spots that's off the map, off the grid, and I'm sure is loaded with snakes. So we got to be careful, we got to watch our footing, and don't want to get surprised by any giant snakes out here. So it's going to be one of those adventures where I'm a little bit on edge, but there are fish to be caught, so we're going to keep going. First time out to this spot this year too, and it is looking mad juicy. Recently rained a ton, so the water is going to be super high, but I think the fish are still going to be able to see this lure quite easily despite the muddy water, because we got the white color and that stands out really well in the muddy water. Plus there's just so many fish in here where it's like you're going to be tossing in front of one's face every single cast, no matter where you cast in the water. Let's start down here on this narrow little stretch, and then we'll work our way down to the larger area of the pond. It's really just a puddle in the middle of the woods, but you know, we're going to start down on this shallow area. All right, let's see if we can work our magic. Water's actually more clear than I thought it would be, which is kind of good. There's a few different species in here too I'd love to catch. Got bass, pickerel, and crappie, of course. And this is the first time I've fished here this year, so they should be, you know, low pressure. They haven't seen a lure since I've probably been here last, so I'm sure we're gonna catch them. I love always hitting a spot like this for the first time in the year because you usually do really well. You guys see all the stuff I spooked right there? I know that can't be all turtles. This place is just filled with life. You got turtles, you got fish all in here, got birds everywhere out here, there's deer, snakes, spiders, all the living things. Look at that action on that grub. Thing is gonna get slammed today. The curly tail action is just amazing on these little, I think Arky is the brand of the grubs. Been using them since I was a kid, they're awesome. There's a fish right when it hit the water. Number one of the day, and it's a bass. Sweet. Heck yeah. Pounced on it right when it hit the water. About a pounder, sweet. Right in a little narrow stretch. I love catching them out of here. I've actually caught bass in here up to 3 pounds, but this one is not that size. That's okay though. Cool little fish out of a beautiful spot. I just love fishing spots like this. All right, number one. Not our target species, but I don't care. It's a good fish to start the day. Sure, crappie will follow. Little guy was sitting right up there on the shoreline, real close to cover. Sure, our grub is still swimming right. It is. Perfect. Let's get another. Let's keep working our way down along here. Just covering all this water that's possible. Place is really flooded out from all this recent rain. That's why I got the waders on. It's usually pretty wet back here as is, but with 3 straight days of rain, it's even worse than before. Is that a fish? No way, dude. Literally instantly when it hit the water, and it's a nice fish. Definitely a nice fish here. Totally just instantly when it hit the water. This thing is running. Oh, it's a pickerel, I think. I've never landed a pickerel out of here, but I've had a couple break me off and stuff. Hopefully I can land this guy. It's a pretty sizable pickerel for a place like this too. Come here, buddy. That was like the most instant bite I've ever had right when it hit the water. Let's land this thing. Here, bud. Nice pickerel for back here. Come on, man. Come on. Sweet. Second species, real nice fish. Out of a tiny little hole in the woods. You gotta love it. Just jammed that thing right when it hit the water. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. Thought for sure this guy had to be a snag just because of how quickly I got, you know, stuck on him when I hit the water, but nope, he ate it instantly. All right, buddy. Whew, a little bit of a belly flop. Sorry, my guy. He'll be all right. Second species. I'm loving it, dude. Came out crappie fishing, but a bass and a pickerel, I will take that all day long. He had to be pushing 18, 19 inches too, which out of a place like this is just absolutely mind-boggling. Doesn't get a whole lot much more fun than this. Light action rod, 6-pound test, little 2-inch or 2.5-inch grub on a jig head, 1/8 of an ounce jig head, in a spot that's not more than 15 feet across. Catching pretty sizable fish for a place like this. Gotta love it. Man, there's so much life in here. Every time my lure hits the water, I'm spooking like 5 different things. Well, we fished about as far down here as possible. I mean, we could keep going a little bit, but it ends right there. So I think I'm just gonna go hit the main pond area now, walk back through the marsh, start fishing down on that other end where all the crappie are typically stacked up. So let's get on down there, try to get our target species and see how the rest of this day goes. All right, so here's the main pond. Water is up extremely high, highest I've ever seen it here from all the rain. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you've probably seen us fish this pond before. We caught a lot of good sized fish out of here, especially crappie. But it's a fun place to fish and I'm excited to get after it here this year. I mean, we caught a couple down on the skinny end, but this is where we do most of our damage at this area. There's one. Oh, believe that was a crappie. Just a little guy, but he definitely had it. Pulled the tail, well, not the tail, but pulled the grub off of the jig head. Definitely a different kind of a bite than the bass and the pickerel. It's like a soft little double tap. That's what those crappie like to do. Trying to keep my retrieve as slow as I possibly can. But there are so many snags in here that you got to find that happy medium in between going too fast for the fish to bite it and going so slow where you're going to get snagged on every cast, because there's a bunch of submerged trees down there. This is either going to be a snag or a fish on this cast. I'm right in the thick of the trees. Thankfully it's a fish. And it's our first crappie. There we go, little guy. Definitely choked that grub though. We're up to 3 species now. I knew it was only a matter of time before we got a crappie. Love catching crappie, man. It's been too long since I targeted these guys. Just a little tyke, but I'm sure there's bigger ones that come for us. It's a bit of a risky cast throwing right in the thick of the trees, but thankfully that guy hit it before I got snagged. So I've probably lost 20 or 30 of these little setups on that tree down there. But they're pretty cheap, so no big deal. Gotta go where you gotta go to get the fish. You know, this time last year, Maddie and myself were out here catching like literally over 100 crappie between the two of us. And right now, you know, we've got 3 fish when last year we would have caught probably 20 by now. It's just been such a weird weather pattern here in Delaware and across the East Coast, you know, getting warm and then just getting super cold. I think we had snow in like April, and we've had some days that were like around 80 degrees, and then the next day it's like 40s or 30s even overnight. So I think the fish are just all confused right now, but we're still catching them. We're gonna keep catching them. There's more to be caught. And let's just go up around this little bend right here, throw a little bit more. See how flooded out all this is right here? Normally I'm fishing and I'm standing like over here. You can kind of see the ledge where it drops off. Fish should be up shallow for that reason and feeding on all the new territory that they didn't have before. Crappie just ate it right there in front of me. That was awesome. Just a little guy, but still, I love when they eat it at my feet. Just following it in for a long time, that guy was. All right, crappie number 2 out here in the woods. Nice looking little guy, future giant for sure. Let's let him go right down here. See ya, bud. Thanks for that epic eat. Thing probably followed it in the entire cast. A lot of times they'll just get on it right when it hits the water, then just, you know, if they're being finicky and weird like they are today, they'll just follow it all the way in and either decide to eat it or not. Most of the times they won't eat it at the shore like that, but that one hit it right about there. It's pretty sick. It's even cooler when the big ones do that. Ooh, I just spooked something big over there. Big part only produced 2 crappie. I'm pretty surprised, but let's go back to the narrow side over here. Try to get a couple more fish, whatever they may be. It's just kind of weird how that big side is not producing like it was last year, but like I said before, this is only my first time here for the year, and it's significantly cooler than it was at this point last year, so I think it might take a little bit more time for that really good spring bite to turn on here. Ah, giant bullfrog. Holy cow. I just saw this big like brown and green mass just emerge out of here. My heart skipped a beat. Maybe I should try a frog back here sometime, do a little top water. Whew. That's a fish too, right when it hit the water again. Might be another pickerel, but he's way down there. Just getting me caught up on all kinds of stuff. All right, come on this way. What are you? I think it's a bass. Yeah, it's a nice little bass. Sweet. It's weird. They're either hitting it right when it hits the water, boat flip, or once I bring it all the way into shore. I'm not having like those mid-range hits. It's either right at the beginning or right at the end of my retrieve. This bass literally has like a parasite right there on its lip. I saw it moving around when I pulled it out of the water. It's like a leech or something. That thing is alive. I'm gonna grab my pliers and do this bass a favor and take it off. But a nice quality little bass out of here. All right, let's get this leech or whatever the heck that is off of my little bass friend. Yeah, it's a leech, man. I think I'm no expert on stuff like that, but I think that was a leech. Nice little bass though. Real pretty one. I love the dark colors that these bass in this little body of water get. Especially that big 3-pounder that I've caught a couple times out of here. He looks really cool. All right, bud. Thank you for your service. Time to get you back. See ya. Back down to his little narrow home. Gotta love it.